Good afternoon, YouTube. Just got done doing a little bit and a little bit of stuff. I just want to make this video to show you what a completely sorted 283,000 mile LBZ swapped LLY 05, whatever. So with the mileage and the salt, of course, we're dealing with the rockers, cab corners for those who haven't kept up. And obvious, that's just obvious, whatever. So I just got done tightening the axle nut back here. It was the hub had a little bit of in and out. It had up and down, a little bit of side to side. It needed to be tightened. Now the bearings back here and seals have already been done. The fluid's been changed, all that good stuff. Everything's already been done. It just well, the hub must not have seated all the way when it was put together, and needed to be retightened. So here we are. I'm pretty excited because I stand back and I go, now what else does this truck need? And I honestly cannot think of one thing that this truck needs. Everything has been done, sorted. Everything has been tightened and torqued, spec'd, all that good stuff. And I just put this this plug on here, was on this bumper when I swapped it off my 06 LBZ GMC. I really like this because it's, you know, you got your 4-pin and you got your 7-pin. And it turns out the factory plug plugs right into this sucker, so I don't need that anymore. If anything, I'd find a bracket or something and mount it in the bed for like a gooseneck. That would be the ideal. Oh yeah, and got my strut moved over. I guess for those that don't know, haven't kept up, I took my 2006 extended cab GMC, which had 356,000 miles, I believe, when I parked it. Took the engine and transmission. The engine does not have that much. I bought my GMC with a blown engine, had a broken crank. Put a new engine in it, transmission still was fine, transfer case was okay. Front diff, rear diff were pooched. I mean, you're talking original miles here. And the rear end had so much, I can't think of the term off the top of my head right now for some reason, backlash. It had so much backlash, it was ready to frickin' explode, I'm sure. It was just fried. And it was howling and everything in the later days here. I only put 15,000 miles on the truck since I had gotten it. Anyway, engine transmission went into this 05 LLY. So it's an 06 LBZ, 6-speed, fully converted. There's not one thing, not one code, nothing that doesn't work with this conversion now. And I did not buy the $375 conversion plug that goes in the fuse box, because you're talking $400 for a little wiring harness that's probably a foot long, if that. You know, that's just insane. I'm familiar with wiring, schematics, this, that, the other. I can do it, so I did. Only thing that has not been swapped that needs to is the gooseneck off the 06. Now, like I said, I just got done tightening this side. The other side's tight perfectly. I won't go into that. So now, with doing this conversion, I went ahead and did upper and lower Muget control arms with ball joints and bushings, all that good stuff. Brand new. I had to do brand new upper bolts because I had to beat the upper ones out. At least this one I had to beat out. It was just frozen. And so it's got 2 new calipers. Unfortunately, I wanted to go all 4. I had ordered 3 because one of them I knew was still good for sure. And it turns out this front driver is okay. You can definitely feel it that one's replaced and this one is replaced. And when I hit the brakes, it pulls to the right, saying that the right is grabbing better than the left. So, whatever. We'll get it replaced eventually. As long as it doesn't lock up on me, we're good to go for now. And there's a little more cash in the budget to, you know, do 2 more calipers. But I got two more sets of brake pads to put on here for this corner and that corner. That caliper I knew was good for sure, and no problems there. But I wanted to wait to put my new brake pads on till I get calipers. It won't be too much longer, so that I don't need to harping on, guys. Mirrors are fully swapped, converted, lights work, all that good stuff. Then what else? I just got it aligned today, finally. I ended up going with, let's see if you can see them, the Duramax Store Extreme Duty tie rods. Freaking behemoths. $200 for a set of them, but it is well worth it when you get to step away from the problematic Moog. They're not problem solvers, guys. I don't know. I wish people would speak up about this. I don't know. I haven't really read on the forums either yet, but the inner tie rods on these things are junk. They really are. I can wiggle this by hand. It's probably got 50,000 miles on it. And this truck's always had two 85, 75, 16s up until now. So not too big a tire. And not even aggressive tire. It was an all-terrain. Cooper's all-terrain. And but these are always almost always worn out. I had two of them straight out of the box, loose. Where you put it on the truck, you grab the tire, and it's got slop. And you're like, I just did tie rods. Where is it coming from? Both my left inner tie rods, one after the other, was loose. Moog. The outer ones, though, are tighter than snot. Those you still almost can't move the stud by hand. They're so tight. 50,000 miles. Inners, wiggly loose. So, Moog inner tie rods are trash. Outer ones are okay if you're looking to do outers. Inners, I don't know what you're going to use because OEMs are still way more expensive than Moogs, even on Rock Auto. So, good luck. But if you want to get away from any sorts of problems, I recommend the Duramax Store. I've got two sets of them now. This one and my LB7, which is keeping from getting all nasty and dirty. It's a tree above it. Likes to shit all over everything. So, as we take a look under the hood, I just had to swap my coolant cap because it was making the upper rad hose go flat overnight. So, new cap, haven't had a problem. But yeah, I mean, this truck has the D-Max Store Max Flow manifolds and up pipes. It has downpipe, obviously, S&B cold air, and then it's got just had it too. I can't think of the name of the Y bridge, but you do searches for LBZ Y bridge. It's the one that branches down into a Y, or it's a shape of a Y. That's why it's called a Y bridge. If you look at, or it's more of a capital Y, let's put it that way. And the lowercase y one, where the Y almost comes in the back side or the face of it, it's not one of those. It's one where the mouth of it goes down and splits into two. Pusher intakes, there we go. So I'm going to disregard all that mumbo jumbo, but pusher intakes. It's got a Y bridge from them. I painted it, so don't bug about the paint. I just got it plain Jane because they wanted an extra $65, $70 for paint. And I was like, it's more of a budget thing. When I put this engine in here, it didn't go 1,000 miles, and I was like, this thing needs a Y bridge. I'm not going to take a chance on it blowing out because I'm putting tunes on it. And it has Corey Willis tunes, your standard trans safe tunes. It's also got tranny tunes. Not a terrible fan of the trans tunes because it's hunting. Like when it goes from 4th to 5th, or 4th to lockup, or 4th lockup at 5th. I don't know what it does, but it likes to hunt. And where it goes from 4th, goes to shift into the next gear, and then backs out like it goes back into 4th, and then it goes into lockup. I don't know what the frick it's tripping about. It does that quite a bit. But I got to call Corey about that yet before I rag on the tunes. But other than that, she runs cool, man. I mean, full throttle, stage 4, this sucker's running less than 1,200 degrees. So that is awesome. Now, so it's got Bilstein shocks front and rear, had them on the GMC. Yeah, it needs rockers, cab corners, and doors, and a bed and a box, but you know, the frame's still good, so we're gonna roll with it. I gotta put the lower splash shield on underneath the radiator yet. That's one thing I was waiting to do after I had an alignment. PCV reroute. It has an S&B mouthpiece on it because those are, they claim full a little bit better than the LBZ just by a hair. And I was like, well, anything's better than nothing. And this intake system just the cold air intake is from this truck, the LLY. So having the LLY mouthpiece, it fits right on the LBZ turbo. I mean, they're interchangeable. LBZ mouthpiece can go on an LLY. That's what we recommend for those that want to go budget. Don't want to buy like an S&B mouthpiece for some reason, because it's, I mean, LLY mouthpiece is trash. It restricts your turbo, for those that don't already know. But yeah, there's nothing that this truck doesn't need. I've tried to readjust the hood latch. It still doesn't really want to close under its own weight. Still got to slam the balls out of it, but and when it pops the grill out every time I close the hood, which is really annoying. But you know, I don't know, it must be hitting against the grill or something. And we did that before I put the bug guard on there. The bug guard's brand new. But when I had the grill out, it closed perfect. I mean, I could push it from the top, so it must be hitting against the grill or something. But whatever. Just got this off of eBay, pretty cheap. Saved me about half the cost or something like that, so, of a new one. It's not quite right. The screen is a yellowish, and that's on the white setting for the screen color. That's not right. And all the colors, you scroll through them, I think the only one that's right is cayenne, which is a reddish color. That's the only color that matches up with what it's selected on. So that's a little weird, but it works, so I can't complain. It's half the cost. But kind of goes with the yellow interior, which I swapped over from the GMC. Now, everything working now. I know in previous videos I'd mentioned this sucker was having issues with like half voltage, where I'd go to turn on, like if I turn the dome lights off, where when I turn one of these on, it would go to half voltage. It wouldn't... it would light up dim, and when you do this, there wouldn't be any power for the home link to work whatsoever. And on further investigation, it turned out there was only 5 volts being sent up on the orange wire, which is a constant supposed to be a constant 12 volt. And it had something to do with the LEDs. I do not know what, but and I do not have this problem in my LB7, and I put some of these LEDs in my dad's 06 Silverado, and it did the same exact thing. That's when we figured out it must be a BCM or some other computer module that controls the lighting. There's apparently, I think that's a 5 volt reference that was getting sent up here. Now here's the kicker. I don't understand how the 5 volt works, because I was hacking and cutting every wire I could find that would supply power to this thing. I had the orange wire cut, and I had the dome light wire cut. The only thing that was hooked up was the ground. And with only the ground hooked up at the plug, the lights were turning on. Trippy as frick. How is there no power wire hooked up and it's still getting power? Where is it getting it from? I don't know. And this one was doing the same exact thing. You could turn the map lights on and it would get 5 volt reference or something like that. I don't know. The LEDs were tripping the computer or something. I'd have to put a resistor on that wire or something. I don't know. All I did is I cut the orange wire down here. That's originally where I'd cut it. I left it cut, and I hooked it in directly into the battery post up there. So it has constant 12 volts from the battery all the time. I have no more issues. It's a long explanation. I don't know if anybody else has run into this where they've put LEDs up here or, well, all around pretty much, because there's LEDs all over now. Those ones aren't hooked up to that anymore. That's a mod I did as well, so that when you open the door or something, those come on at the same time. So it's lots and lots and lots more light. Those are freaking bright at night. I mean, this could be a surgical room. Straight up, it's so bright. But so I still have spray painting to do. The door panel's mismatched color. I spray painted that a while ago. Ended up being the wrong color. Then I found the right color for the most part. So I got to do all the trim pieces from this truck or find new trim pieces. But I'm most likely going to do a Denali swap in here, which is primarily the bezel and the console fascia. I like the fake wood trim. I like it. Okay. So, and it's like I did an Escalade swap on my LB7. I love it. I almost would love to do an Escalade interior in here just to have the wood trim on the doors. I really don't want 2 Escalades though. So, and one thing I'm trying to do, now follow me here. You take the seat harness, for those that don't know, plugs into this junction block. It runs down. It also plugs into the block that your brake controller plugs into on down by your feet here. It runs down, goes across to that seat, and then there's an airbag wire that goes up into that other kick panel over here on the floor. And then, like with the crew cabs, it has the wiring for your doors, your rear doors as well. What I would like to do is find an 03, I don't know what year they go up to, 06, 07, Cadillac Escalade EXT, and get the seat harness with the door harnesses, of course, it's included in it, and do heated rear bucket seats with a console with a refrigerator in it. Now, to me, that sounds like a freaking awesome idea. You still have your folding seat. That's cool. The back probably won't fold down, obviously, but you should be able to flip the seat up, I think. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, actually, I think the whole seat folds forward. It collapses and, folds up. I don't know how that would work in here, but apparently bucket seats just bolt right in. So that's what I'd like to do. And then the other thing I have, all the stuff to do now, maybe not the wiring as much, the lengthwise, but doing courtesy lights in the rear doors like the Escalades have. And that's one of the things I'm a little gray on here, is the having the door harnesses back here. Obviously the dome light gets supplied power on the Escalades, but I don't know if that fuse box up there has the pin for dome lights there. If not, I'll wire it, whatever. But that's just one of the things I'm gray on, whether I'd have to wire it manually or not. But I'm excited, and I definitely need to find a heater box so I can hook the rear vents up, because in a crew cab there's a lot more real estate than an extended cab, and the floor vents just don't cut it when you have a bunch of people in here. So let's turn into a whole lot of stuff, but this is no problems. At 283,000, everything's been gone through. The front diff, rear diff, AC works. No lights, no nothing. It's just beautiful. So, and this is the cluster out of the other truck. I do have the miles from when I started driving, so I've put almost 400 miles on this thing since I completed the conversion. And when I will have this cluster reprogrammed for the mileage. I have the other cluster in the trailer over there. So I'll just take that mileage and add this onto it. So, not a big deal. But just one of the things we're doing. I got to go back to O'Reilly. I picked this up hoping this would be the right size for that axle nut. It's not. So, whatever. So, and then I also did, I call it ambient lighting, mood lighting or whatever. It shines down on the console, kind of the floor a little bit too at night, so you can not be driving in the pitch black. And I thought about doing that in like the dome light too, having just like a blue ambiance up here, just a little bit. And I could put 2 resistors on it if I wanted to make it so that it's a little bit dimmer up here, but still just a little bit of mood lighting to make it so it's not 100% pitch black and not distracting either, because at night you don't even hardly tell, really. So, but yeah, man, I've done quite a bit. A lot of this stuff's converted over from the 06, and I did not even have to use the 06 BCM in here. This is the 05 LLY BCM. Everything works. The only thing I've always had problems with, even in the 06, these seats came out of an 03 or 04 Silverado, but my memory seats, they don't do anything. Every once in a while, like this one, you get beeping, but that don't mean anything. You can't get it to program any, because I already saved a position to this. And the manual says something about a double beep, but it doesn't even frickin' move or nothing. I had it set really far forward on number 2 and it doesn't move ever. Don't know what the heck the problem is, but whatever. Well, I'm not really worried about it. And I think I remember reading somewhere that all the memory is in the switch itself. So I might just need a new switch. It quit lighting up for some reason too. That's really annoying. It lit up in here when I first put it in here, then it quit lighting up. You got me. I don't know. But, so yeah. Running Corey Willis tunes in the DSP-5 and not a thing wrong. Not a thing wrong or out of place. I can just get in it and drive it now. I just absolutely love that about it. So. There's a little squeak when I shut it off. I don't know where that's coming from, but all the motor mount bolts have been tightened down, so not sure. I also did torsion bar mounting bracket bushings. That's what those bolts are. I had to cut the rivets off, put new bushings in there, because when I first detensioned the torsion bars to take the front control arms off, that whole thing just went clunk and dropped. I was like, dang. I guess they have a tendency to rust off too, so that wasn't the case with this one, which I guess says something about the amount of rust on the frame. So the body's got it, but not the frame as much. So when I had the bed off, you still see a lot of the factory paint and stuff. So heck yeah. But, what a completely sorted 283,000 mile LBZ converted 05 truck looks like. Doesn't need a single thing. I don't have a list anywhere made up about anything that it needs. So other than rockers, cab corners, rust repair. Other than that, she's freaking golden. And then from here, it just gets better. Accessories, upgrades, this, that, the other, you name it. Like bed rails, I'd like to get some bed rails. I've been looking for the little, I think they're Putco. They have the little latch that pops up on the ends of them so you can strap stuff down to them. I'm looking for a set of those. This 6.5 foot bed. If anybody's got any relatively cheap, that'd be fantastic. Stainless only, I don't want. Oh, and the Nerf bars that go from wheel to wheel. Laverne preferred stainless, chrome, you name it. I want those steps back. These ones were originally on this truck, but at the time we were considering parting this truck out, and that's when the controller or the bushings, no, I'm sorry, the ball joints and tie rods went out on the 06 LBZ GMC, and that's when I was like considering fixing that, but I was like, the truck is so messed up body, frame wise, everything was tweaked about it, and I was like, oh dang it, this truck is straight. I mean, it's straight. There's like, other than the driver's door, there's no dings, dents, or scratches. So other than where the topper was, it ripped paint off. But she's straight, and it's beautiful. The way the frickin' it's sorted. It's perfectly sorted. Not a thing wrong about it. Almost 300,000 miles, and the mileage is going to keep going up. Driving it to Michigan next week. So next weekend. So that'll be nice. Perfectly sorted, ready to rock and roll. I was gonna go take it out and test it up here to see how she felt after that hub was tightened up, because let me tell you, I mean, it was literally like the hub was put on, we thought it was seated, thought it was tight, felt good, put it together, drove it, and it's like the hub wasn't 100% seated, because I moved that dial, that thing, like 6 or 7 notches. It was pretty bad. So now she's tight, we're ready to go. Well, guys, it's been 24 minutes already, and if you stuck through it this long, I really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed. Like, tell me what you think about it, other than cosmetics, and the amount of effort I put into it, about 2.5, 3 weeks worth of work, doing the conversion. It's got new brake lines, fuel lines, I forgot to mention that, all from Dorman. They're supposed to be the stainless, we'll find out, but and that's, my flip-flop fell off here. You can see it's got new lines. It also has new rubber lines on every corner of the truck, including the one in the middle there. Yeah, so Like I said, other than the calipers, there's nothing at all that needs to be looked at. So, freaking rights, man. She's ready to rock and roll. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. Like it, hate it, whatever. But thanks for watching, and God bless.